Greetings. I'm Reverend Dr. John E. Jackson Sr., and I am the senior pastor of the Trinity United Church of Christ in the great city of Gary, Indiana. There's something special going on in Gary because we are not just another church. We are a culturally conscious, Christ-centered church that's committed to the community. We are unashamedly Black, and we're unapologetically Christian, and it's Wednesday. And I want to offer what I call a Hump Day Homily, some midweek meditation for you. I was talking with my oldest grandchild, my grandson, DJ. I was talking with him about a year or two ago. And incidentally, let me just give a proud grandpa moment. My oldest grandchild, my grandson, DJ, is in the Little League Hall of Fame because he plays baseball. And in the fall, he's on his way to college on a baseball scholarship. So I was talking with DJ about a year or two ago. I asked him, because he's a hitter now. His niche is hitting. He's a catcher. He plays first base, but he's a hitter. And I said, DJ, what's the most difficult pitch for you to hit? He said, the curveball. That's it. I said, not the fastball? He said, no, curveball. And I thought about that thing. Life throws curveballs at us. It's difficult to hit those curveballs of life. The fastballs of life, we can anticipate, we look for, and all we got to do is time the right moment to connect with it. And we can hit the fastball, but it's when life throws those curveballs at us that throws us off. And in 2020, life threw the curveball of COVID-19 at us. Now, let me give a footnote. Racism in America, white supremacy, is a fastball. We can anticipate that. As long as we are paying attention, we can anticipate it, and we can connect and knock that thing out the park if we do our part. But it's the curveballs of life. And when 2020 threw this curveball of COVID-19, it disrupted our entire life, not just personally, but socially in our entire society, not just in this nation, but across the ocean, all over the world. The curveball of coronavirus, COVID-19, disrupted everything from our work to how we visit the hospitals, to how we do just everything, go to the grocery stores. Everything got disrupted, even for those of you sisters going to the beauty parlor and going to the barber shop and all of that. Life has just been disrupted by COVID-19, the curveball of curveballs, y'all. And I thought about that thing and said, well, how do you hit curveball? So I asked my grandson and consulted some professional baseball players. I looked up some of what they had to say about how do you hit a curveball. And so here's a few things about hitting a curveball that I want to apply to dealing with or handling the curveballs of life, like COVID-19, being sheltered in place, practicing social distancing and quarantining and all of that. So the first thing about hitting a curveball that I discovered was you have to choose which curveball, as a batter, choose which curveball you can hit and that you're going to go after. Because pitchers throw a variety of curveballs. Some do this, some do that. And you've got to study the picture and study the curveballs that the pitcher going to throw at you and decide which one you can actually hit. Because some curveballs, they curve and they drop right in the dirt. And if you swing at them, you have wasted a whole bunch of energy. You've thrown yourself off. All you had to do was wait that one out because it wasn't going to do nothing but curve right in the dirt. And life throws some curveballs at us, and we don't have to stress about everything. We don't have to try to do everything. In other words, we don't have to try to do too much. Concentrate on the things that you can do while you're sheltered in place. Concentrate on the things you can handle while you are social distancing. Concentrate on the things that you can control and do those things. Connect with those things, because there's some things that are just going to drop in the dirt because they are not going to matter anyway, but we stress about them. So the first thing about hitting a curveball is choosing the ones that you can actually hit, or dealing with the curveballs of life, dealing with what you can deal with, and not stressing about the things that are beyond your control. The second thing I learned about hitting a curveball was you have to get in rhythm with the pitcher. You have to watch the pitcher, and you see batters and they practice their swing and they're doing this while they're at the plate, and they are getting in rhythm with the pitcher. You got to get in rhythm with the pitcher, because it's not about a timing moment. It's getting in a timing zone. And when you're trying to deal with the curveballs of life, again, like COVID-19, you got to put yourself in a rhythm. You got to get yourself in a routine. Remember, COVID-19 has disrupted our rhythm. Most of us are used to a certain time we go to bed so that we can get up at a certain time, so that we can do all of our hygiene things, do all of the preparations that we need to do, and then get out at a certain time so that we can get on the expressway, on the road to our jobs, our places of employment, to reach there at a certain time. And while we're on those jobs, we got a rhythm that we do this until our first break, and then our lunch break, and then our next break, and then quitting time. We were in a rhythm, and COVID-19 threw us out of that rhythm. So we gotta try to get ourselves into a regular rhythm every day. Even if it means dressing up, getting up at a certain time every day, dressing up just to go to the kitchen table to make breakfast. But get yourself in a rhythm of things that you're going to do. Make a list of things that you're going to tackle that day. Give yourself a regular rhythm to deal with the curveballs of life, and in particular, this curveball of COVID-19. But the final thing about hitting a curveball, I found out from baseball players and my grandson, who is a baseball player, is that you got to get the bat underneath the ball. Many times, batters strike out because they're swinging over the ball. You see, curveballs are an illusion. Curveballs are an illusion. Where you first see them is not where they end up. They drop on you. And if you swing where you see them, you're going to miss because they're going to drop on you. And so it's important to get the bat underneath, so that when that curveball drops, it drops right on your back and you knock it out the park. What am I saying? We got to get under the curveballs of life. And how do you get under the curveballs of life? I'm glad you asked. To do that, we have to develop some meditation and devotion time. In our regular rhythm and regular routines, let us establish also some devotion times that's regular, some consistent devotion time with just us and God, some meditation time where we're communing with God. You can call it prayer, or you can also add to that some regular exercise to get the body and the muscles, get them active. Some yoga is helpful, walking, biking, whatever you can do to get that body engaged so that you can get under the curveballs of life, developing and strengthening and toning and using that body so it can get oxygen in it to then oxygenate the mind and the spirit. Breathing techniques are important. Practice breathing deeply and letting it out. And of course, drinking water throughout the day to flush the body of toxins. That's how you get under the curveballs of life, because what you're doing is forming a foundation so that when the curveballs of life, like COVID-19, when they are pressing us with all of the reports that go one way and this way. Every day there's a new development in the COVID-19 situation, where we have a foundation, a spiritual, a mental, and emotional foundation that allows us to get underneath the curveball and connect with that thing and knock that thing out the park. Or as Paul said it like this: think on these things. Whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever is right, whatever is lovely, whatever is pure, whatever is admirable, anything that is excellent or praiseworthy, the Apostle Paul says, think on those things and start turning off the news so much. Think on those things. I want to God bless you for this day. I want you to be encouraged, because guess what? I'm so glad the tomb was empty. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.